5:30 p.m. and on Saturdays from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. closed on Sunday. Johnson's Parts, your Auto Plus Auto Parts store, located at 1112 Shelton Avenue in Statesville.
And now look at your weather report from the WSIC Weather Center. Partly sunny skies out there right now. Your afternoon high will be reaching 81 degrees. As you head into the evening hours, mostly cloudy skies with that overnight low dropping to 62 before we get into some rain chances for Tuesday. This is your weather report from the WSIC Weather Center.
Any views expressed in this program do not necessarily represent those of WSIC.
All systems are a go.
Ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your seats. Taking Care of Iredell with North Carolina State Representative Jeff McNeely is about to begin. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good morning, Iredell County. Hope everybody's doing well on this Monday morning. It's a nice day out there, folks. Get outside, do what you need to do. I think some rain's coming here in the next couple of days, so today is your day. Hey, had a busy week last week. Took it all the way to about 2:30 Friday morning to get everything done. So got the speaker, Mr. Tim Moore from Cleveland County Representative, going to call in second part of the show, and we're going to talk about some of the good things that we have in this budget. It took a while to percolate, but we finally got it going, and I'm well pleased with it, and Iredell County did well. We did a good job, team, bringing it back here for us to be able to invest in stuff in Iredell County. Some of our tax dollars returned to us. So, right now looking about $30 billion budget. If you look at both sides of the biennium to your budget, each one of them's running right around $30 billion. So got a lot of good stuff in it. We could go down through the list, but I don't want to talk about the whole thing till I get Tim on here. But we did spend a lot of money. We got different things going on for teachers, about 7.5% raise on them, highway patrol. So just tried to raise everybody. I think it was about 6.5%, 7% on state employees. Put money in the rainy day fund. It's up to about $5 billion, so we can take care of ourselves if something should go wrong out on the coast, and that's just a matter of time. So be ready for that. One thing we did get done too on Thursday night, we came back in at about 9:30, 10 o'clock, and a lot of people wonder, well, why were y'all there at midnight doing things? Well, here was the deal. Trying to get this thing scheduled, we thought we were going to vote Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Ended up more like a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, before we could get everything worked out in the budget and all the I's dotted and T's crossed so we could vote on it. And after doing a little bit of polling, we realized that we would not have as many members at 9 o'clock on Friday morning as we would, unfortunately, at 12:01 on Friday morning. So ended up that added about an extra 12 votes to the budget by doing it at midnight. So it wasn't we were trying to hide anything, pull anything over on anybody, do anything. It's just that we could get that many to participate. So many people had already made doctor's appointments and understand, this budget's a little overdue. And so a lot of people have made plans for here or there. And, it's hard to plan your life out when you don't really know your work schedule. So you got to stay very flexible. I know that's the way it is with me. So I just don't try to plan anything until we get this budget done. So now life may be a little bit easier. So if anybody wants to call in and talk about the budget or anything at all, 704-873-1400. Looks like we already got somebody hit the line, didn't we? All right, let's see who we got here. Bring them up, Joe. Hey, this is Representative Jeff McNeely. Who we got?
Good morning, Jeff. This is William.
Hello, sir. How are you?
All right. It gives you a sense of accomplishment after what you and Vicki and others did this past week, doesn't it?
Well, yeah. I have no idea what it's like to birth a baby, but it can't be easy because the budget wasn't, and it took 9 months just like a baby. So we finally got it done.
It's a hard enough job as it is to try to budget. I mean, it's trying to budget your household. It's just the same thing with a state, same thing with the country, the concept of it. But when you have a governor like we have that wants to veto every sheet of paper that comes across his desk, it just makes it even more difficult and frustrating.
Oh,
but
I know.
I just wanted to thank you and thank Vicki. I didn't get a chance to thank Vicki. She's in Raleigh last week, so she called in on her show, but didn't get to actually thank her. But maybe I'll get to thank her this week coming up. But yeah, it's just it's a sense of accomplishment. But one of my questions, I didn't read all of the budget and where the money's going to be distributed. Some of it, obviously, we know. Do you know if any of that money that the budget in North Carolina is going to go to pertaining to the street projects that are going on in the Cornelius area and Lake Norman?
Well, that's all in the STIP, so I'll have to take a look at each project's kind of individual. One of the big ones we've been talking to, and now they've switched secretaries of the Department of Transportation, which here we start all over again in a way. But Joey Harrington, he understands it too, is trying to get the Cornelius Road exit open, get that done before they really start on 150. For some reason or other, they're wanting to do it backwards, and that's just going to be a nightmare. If we could get Cornelius Road exit established, and you could backfeed into 150 on that one side anyway, and that would just help tremendously on all the congestion that's going to happen. If you think traffic's bad in Mooresville now, folks, wait till we start working on 150.
Oh yeah, no, we've got to get one. It's kind of like building a new bridge. You got to put a temporary bridge in and let people cross over that while you reconstruct the old bridge or whatnot. So it's kind of, you got to two go hand in hand. You got to try to get something else going before you can start on another project for sure.
The best part. Go ahead.
Just wanted to call in and thank you for your hard work, because I don't know what it's like to sit in your chair no more than you probably know what it's like to sit in my chair, but we ought to know that there's pros and cons to both sides, and you just have to try to work together. And North Carolina, there's people up there in Washington, D.C. need to take note of what we're doing here in North Carolina. Maybe they can, maybe some of that good stuff that we got going on in this state can rub off up in the deep state. We can only hope, right?
Well, yeah, we're just trying to do common sense legislation. I mean, that's one of the things every time I usually get up on the floor with one of my bills, I always say, once again, I'm bringing you common sense legislation. and it is. That's what I try. It's just one thing I will tell you that will help with the transportation side is, and some people aren't going to like it, but we are actually, the people with electric vehicles, they will have to pay a road tax. It will be $150 or $155, I think it is, a year. So, and that's probably not as much as they should, but it's a start. So, that was one of their big selling points. Oh, you don't have to pay road tax because you're not buying gasoline. Well, okay, we're still on the road. You're still using the road, so there is no free puppy. So we enacted that. And that's going to help bring some more revenue in to keep these roads up and build them, because we were revenue struggling.
Their part too. Just because they're not burning fossil fuel doesn't mean, like what you just said, they're using the highway just like a fossil burning fuel vehicle is. It's one, it's the same concept there. But we're right now, what we're doing and what we have been doing for years is hiring those people up there in Washington, D.C. just to kick the can down further down the road. And that's all they're probably going to do with their budget up there. The end of this week, McCarthy's probably going to come up with something to kick the can down the road a little further and buy a little bit more time. But, if Washington, D.C. would just stop and take a look at what individual states are doing in the union, they might could take a lesson from it and learn something from it and maybe try to operate their business up there just like we're trying to operate our business here. And overall, as Americans, we'd be better off, in my opinion.
Well, I'm not going to argue with you one bit on that. I'm not, because like I said, the craziness we get from them, we have to go ahead and enact laws here to be the buffer to give us good legal standing for when the lawsuit comes. Now, how is that good government? How? I don't know. Hey, William, we got to take a break. I don't know if you're done, or if you want to hang through the break, we'll talk some more.
Thank you, Jeff.
All right,
Thank
man.
you, Jeff.
Appreciate you. All right, folks, we'll be back here just shortly. Got to pay the bills.
More Taking Care of Iredell with NZ Representative Jeff McNeely is coming up on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Here's your WSIC community calendar.
This Friday, the Steel Wheels are performing at Kane Center for the Arts in Cornelius. Come listen to the storytelling abilities of the Steel Wheels through Americana and folk music. Doors open at 7 and the show starts at 8. The Steel Wheels, this Friday, canearts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. Start your engines, racing fans. The Bank of America Roval 400 is back to Charlotte. Sunday, October 8th, starting at 2 p.m., the Bank of America Roval 400 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Get your tickets before it's too late. Visit charlottemotorspeedway.com. No time to get to the apple picking at Kerrigan Farms? Apple picking ends September 30th. But you have your chance to go pumpkin picking. Starting September 30th, you can experience the pumpkin patch at Kerrigan Farms. Book your experience now at kerriganfarms.com. The All-American Dog Show is this Sunday in Cornelius, 2 until 5 p.m. Bring your furry friends with you. Come find out who has the fluffiest coat and see the cutest puppy in all of Cornelius. And be sure to come by the WSIC tent at the All-American Dog Show happening at Robbins Park in Cornelius this Sunday. For more info, visit cornelius.org. Have an event you would like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
The Renaissance Festival is back! Saturdays and Sundays, September 30th through November 19th. A non-stop outdoor family adventure. Huzzah! Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com while supplies last.
And now a look at your weather report from the WSIC Weather Center. Partly sunny skies out there right now. Your afternoon high will be reaching 81 degrees. As you head into the evening hours, mostly cloudy skies with that overnight low dropping to 62 before we get into some rain chances for Tuesday. This is your weather report from the WSIC Weather Center.
Hey, this is Jeff McNeely. We hope you go out and visit the fine folks at G&M Milling Company in downtown beautiful Lowray, North Carolina. That's 4000 Taylorsville Highway, 704-873-5758. Give them a call or go visit for all your livestock needs as far as feed or seed or whatever. They'll be glad to help you out. They're really good folks. I've known them for a long, long time. Go visit G&M Milling, 4000 Taylorsville Highway, Lowray, North Carolina.
Now, more Taking Care of Iredell with NC Representative Jeff McNeely on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
All right. Back here with the, I guess, the middle part of the show, as we'll say, Joe. And talked a little bit about the budget here. We're going to talk more about it when we get Speaker Tim Moore on. One thing I did want to bring up, too, is, like I said, at about probably Thursday night, about 10 o'clock, I was able to get House Bill 563 passed out of the House and over to the Senate. And that's a bill that me, Wayne Sasser, Tricia Cawthon, Ken Fortnott, we've all been working on for about as long as we have the budget, and it's to regulate the CBD hemp industry, your deltas that you see all the time at these smoke shops, your Delta 8s, your Delta 10s, who knows where they're going to go with the numbers, but really good bill. Right now, there is no age limit. Packaging is kind of wild, wild west, so this will help with getting packaging child-proof, labeled, ingredients in it. This will also set up quality control. It will put a age limit at 18. You have to be at least 18 to purchase these products. ALE tells us that, they feel like 3/4 of the young people right now, that's a gateway for them to get to marijuana with these drugs or these products. They're not drugs, we hope, as long as they're under 0.3 THC, Delta 9. So a pretty encompassing bill, licensure program. So you have, if you're going to manufacture, distribute, sell, you have to have a license for those things so that we can actually identify who is working in the state and what. Right now, we don't know where the products are coming from. A lot of them, we believe, are coming from out of the country, and we don't know what all is in them, especially with the fentanyl rise that's going on. This is very concerning for me and our youth in our country, or all of us, but especially our youth. And anything I can do to try to protect them, I will. And so we were really glad to see this bill move forward. Hopefully we can get it done before we adjourn. Clock's ticking, we know that, but that's the way it works sometimes. So it's had a lot of things to work out. All kind of agencies we worked with, DOR, Department of Revenue, that is, Department of Corrections, as far as incarceration, ALE. I can just go on and on with every acronym you can think of in state government that we really worked with. Going on real quick, like I said, anybody want to call in, please do, 704-873-1400. We got a little bit before we go to our break and pick up our speaker. Kevin McCarthy got his work cut out for him, trying to get a stopgap budget to keep the federal government working for about another 30 to 45 days. We got a call? All right. Let's go ahead and take it. We'll see what we got here. Hey, this is Representative Jeff McNeely. Who we got?
Hey, you got Steve from the Statesville area.
Hey, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great, and I appreciate what you're doing working for the county and the state, and appreciate you being on the show and all. And it's no reflection upon you or Vicky Sawyer, but overall, the Republican Party, I don't think we're getting our brand out, and what is our message? I listen to a lot of talk show radios, national and federal politics, and I don't believe that the Republican Party really has a message going right now. And I don't know what your thoughts are. And another point is that with the local Republican Party, they don't seem to be doing too much as far as getting their message out either. I worked for the party on Tillis's campaign, and I never received a thank you or nothing. They never called me back for anything. And why I think this is important is when I was younger, I was a liberal, and I worked for a Democratic candidate. I also thought of working for a Republican candidate, and Republican candidate, even though I worked against his campaign, he sent me a thank you through the mail. So I just want to get your kind of thoughts on this. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right. Well, I hope that the Republican Party is resonating with a lot of people. If nothing else, I feel like it's kind of like I tell my wife sometimes. I don't feel like I got to do anything really special. I just need to stand still long enough and watch everybody else, which would be the Democrat Party, go crazy, and I'll start to look pretty good. Now, maybe that's not a great messaging, but that's kind of where we're at. We're going to be the party of liberty and security and free choice. So we'll go and take that off there. So, but we're also going to be the party that, we're going to make sure that you're safe at night. We're going to help our law enforcement. We're going to make sure our military is strong. So we're going to do all the things that keeps America strong. And that's where we're at, and that's our party. So we got another caller. All right, let's take it. Hey, this is Representative Jeff McNeely. Who we got?
Hi, Jeff. This
Hey.
is Deborah.
Hey, Deborah, how are you doing?
I'm trying to be just fine, sir.
Good to talk to you.
Wanting to call in and respond to somebody's not doing their job. We are overrun with people coming across that border.
Amen.
And COVID. Let's go back to the start of that. This administration, they've put all of our lives on the line, letting these people come across, get this shot, then get your booster shot, do this, do that. Nobody's winning at this point. Our country, we're losing it, and people are dying from that COVID and lost their lives when it hit. We were barely recovering from that, and then all of a sudden he's opening up the border, and I hear probably about 30 minutes ago, 11,000 come into this country overnight.
Yep, yeah.
What in the God's name is going on? Explain something.
The Biden administration here the other day said they were going to allow 415,000 Venezuelans work permits. Well, they thought that was for the 415,000 that were already here. Evidently, the people in Venezuela heard that, and now they started marching towards our border, and there's thousands, tens of thousands of Venezuelans coming, hoping somehow or another they can get included in that 415,000 worker permit that we're allowed to, for illegal aliens. So, I always say if you want more of something, just subsidize it, figure out a way to help it, and it'll grow. And there you go. And that's what we're doing. So we're asking to be invaded, and we're wanting them to invade us, it looks like.
I promise you they're making promises to these people. They're coming for a better way of life, they say. They're fleeing their home countries for a better way of life. They've been said a lie. Because everybody's suffering here. Why don't they put a message over TV in these other countries saying don't come? Why don't they stop these people from putting themselves through it? And these babies, all the babies that they're letting through, I don't want nothing bad happening to no one, and I pray for everyone. But I can honestly see somebody's just not doing their job.
Well, theoretically, the reason that you have countries that have borders is to make sure that you can take care of your people inside your border, and it's not necessarily your job to take care of the whole rest of the world outside of your border. It's whether you choose to or not, and we make this choice. I don't think it's really been approved by anybody. It's just been a thing that's been allowed to happen. Administration before this, we had got our immigration policies, I felt like, pretty much under control. Now it's the wild, wild west. And according to a lot of the border control people down there, they're saying this is kind of a ploy for the cartels, that this is great for them as long as they're keeping all the border agents busy with people trying to cross over the Rio Grande and here and there. It allows them easy access into the rest of the United States with their fentanyl and all their drugs and everything. So it's almost like, we're going to start a fire over here so we can slip by you over here. And so they're saying they don't have the manpower to control all the people coming across, plus all the drugs that are coming across and back and forth.
Well, I certainly know that they've been said a lie, and all we, the people, we're getting lied to, too. And where they say they're going to let them, Joe Biden, 180 days here on a visa. Do you know how many people's going to be put out of work that really are Americans? They're literally going to lose jobs, and these others are going to come through. And I believe they're trying to push the American children out of the public schools and letting these other people come. I don't have a problem with immigration if they come the right way.
Yeah.
But when they come and you don't even know who's in our country, we have a lot on the table. Somebody needs to start cleaning this mess up, and it is out of hand. I pray for all, and I pray that they'll run an ad in the other country somehow, get these people to stop coming, because they're not fleeing their country for a better way of life, because we don't have it all that grand over here if you think about it and look at the what we've been through.
Well, the bad thing is we're gonna take care of them and get here. We're gonna feed them. We're gonna put them up. We're gonna do a lot of things for them that they probably don't have now. So, I mean, that's just an enticement. And so there's a roadway right through the jungles of South America up through Panama, and I can't believe on the way they're not stealing and looting everything they can to get here, because you can't carry but so much food with you. So I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Coming next. And Jeff, I thank you for taking my call, and just everybody pray for our country, because we're certainly needing everybody to be on board with praying to God. He is answering our prayers. I know it.
Amen.
Jeff, God bless you. Have a safe day, and thank you for taking my call, okay?
Thank you, Deborah. You take care.
Okay,
see you, hon.
You too.
Bye-bye. Hey, getting back to it, like I said, Kevin McCarthy, he's got an uphill job. He's got to try to get this done. You got the Freedom Caucus and the Main Street Caucus going back and forth with each other trying to get a bill. And on top of that, the House has began their inquiry on impeachment of Joe Biden. I remember when impeachment was one of these rare things. Seems like now, after the Democrats went crazy with Donald Trump, it just threw it around everywhere. So I guess we're just trying to get rid of everybody. Call in, doing all the different voting and everything else. Also, Chuck Schumer last week, real quick, got to get this in, dismissed the dress code in the Senate floor so that John Fetterman, Pennsylvania Democrat, could wear his shorts and hoodie. Now, I like wearing shorts and I like wearing hoodies, but I think when I show up, I need to show up and look like I'm somebody. So just saying. All right, Hang on. Come back. We got 10 more.
There's more Taking Care of Iredell with NC Representative Jeff McNeely on the way from the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Hey, this is Jeff McNeely. We hope you go out and visit the fine folks at G&M Milling Company in downtown beautiful Lowray, North Carolina. That's 4000 Taylorsville Highway, 704-873-5758. Give them a call or go visit for all your livestock needs, as far as feed or seed or whatever. They'll be glad to help you out. They're really good folks. I've known them for a long, long time. Go visit G&M Milling, 4000 Taylorsville Highway, Lowray, North Carolina.
And now look at your weather.
Hello, sir. Are you there?
Good morning. How are you, Jeff?
Doing well, doing well.
Good.
All right, hold tight.
Can you hear me okay?
I can. It's a little staticky, but I can hear you pretty good. We'll make it work. So just hold tight for about another 2 minutes, and we'll get you right back in.
Okay, all right.
All right, thank you. We're just going to talk about the budget and some of the other bills we passed the other night and what we did. All right.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Tim. Hold tight.
Are you an athlete? Are you a weekend warrior? Do you suffer from chronic pain or discomfort? Are you retired? Or are you like me, a normal 9-to-5 professional? What is preventing you from seeking a service which will allow you to live your best life? Our practitioners at Stretch Zone go through a rigorous 40-hour training process that ensures they are prepared to meet the needs of every Stretch Zone client. Are you ready to experience for yourself the incredible benefits of practitioner-assisted stretching for free on your first visit? Contact us today. We are located at 20545 Torrance Chapel Road in Cornelius and 591 River Highway in Mooresville. If you are ready to feel amazing, call us today. Stretch, work, play, repeat. Schedule your free stretch today at Stretch Zone Mooresville and Cornelius.
Live music, vendor booths, and community yard selling. Fun for the whole family returns to Statesville for the WSIC Community Yard Sale, October 28th at 1117 Radio Road. Spots start at just $25, but spaces are limited. Get yours today at WSICnews.com/yard sale.
I have a feeling it's going to be beautiful.
The WSIC Community Yard Sale, October 28th, 6 a.m. till 2 p.m.
Bing, that's the end of that.
Special purchase at Randy Marion Chevrolet in Statesville. How about a Chevrolet 22 model Silverado pickup? These are the regular cab long bed work trucks. These are ready to go today. I've got over 30 in stock starting at $23,990. Miles on these things are a deal. 8,000 miles up to the mid-teens. That's right, 22 model Silverado trucks, 8,000 miles starting at $23,990. Come check them out today. Randy Marion Chevrolet in Statesville.
In life, we plan for many important things. Weddings, our children's education, retirement. A celebration of life is really no different. Planning and paying for your life celebration in advance will give you and your family valuable peace of mind. We'll help you take care of every detail with professionalism and compassion. We're Lynn Honeycutt Funeral Home. Find us at dignitymemorial.com.
It's Taking Care of Iredell with NC Representative Jeff McNeely on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
All right, folks, we got the second half of the show here, and we got our guest on speaker, Tim Moore from down in Cleveland County. Tim, are you there?
Yes, sir. Good to be with you, Jeff. Hope you're well today.
I'm doing well. I hope you are, sir. We kind of harried week last week, but we got it done, and glad to see it get across the finish line. So it was a good day. It was a good day.
Sir, yes, sir. Glad to finally get the budget passed. Of course, the governor has announced that he's not going to sign it, but not going to veto it. So, hey, I'll take that. That means the budget will be signed. Will go into law. And there's a lot of resources, a lot of funds being spread all around the entire part of the state, including Iredell County and western North Carolina. It's very proud of it, around the tax relief, the regulatory reform. So, hey, I'd say
Jeff, I'd say we earned $104 a day this last day.
You know, I'd say every cent of it, And part of me, of course, not really with Roy Cooper, but a part of me thinks that, okay, he doesn't like, that as we always hear, oh, y'all could have done more. You could have done more. Well, yeah, you can go broke doing that too. So we got to look at, reoccurring funds all the time. I think we did good, but I'm kind of surprised he doesn't sign this because it has the Medicaid expansion in it that he bet his soul on, and it finally has happened. And in my opinion, he gets no credit at all for it with not signing it.
Isn't that the irony that this has been the piece of legislation he has been talking about for 7-8 years now, and then when it comes time to actually execute, he's not signing it. So, but that's that's to be expected. We'll see if he shows up for ribbon cuttings for projects that were funded in this budget that he didn't support either.
Oh, he's going to do that. He's continued to do that every budget cycle. He's took credit wherever he could, but yet he doesn't want to have anything on his hands, I guess. Hey, and we talked about this now on the tax cut relief. We're like $1.2 billion for the families and businesses just over the next 2 years in North Carolina. That's a huge amount of money. In 2 years, tax relief.
This budget represents probably the culmination of the largest tax cut in the history of the state, and particularly if you take it into account over the budget cycle that the preceding 2 years. We now in North Carolinians pay less taxes right now than in anyone's lifetime. So, and that's alive. So it is absolutely incredible, and of course, you have been a big part of that. You, Gray Mills, and Victor Sawyer have all worked tirelessly to help us get where we are. And it's a big part of why North Carolina is doing so well on the nationally right now. Why we continue to be one of the top-ranked states, or actually number one in the country.
Yeah, and the teacher salaries, I know the House, we had originally been like 11%. I think it was 7-4. Of course, big bad Senate always wants to come and rain on the parade or whatever. But still, 7.5 is not a bad pay. It's not a bad pay increase at all. It's a pretty good one. I know inflation, it causes a lot of problems, but we didn't create inflation. That would be the Biden administration and the federal overspending that created it. We still have to work within our means and know that that's a reoccurring cost that will be from now on, because every time you add to a salary, you keep paying that. So that to me, like I said, and we actually did really good with the state troopers. We tried to help them. So a lot of good things. You want to talk a little bit about salaries?
Absolutely. Of course, the salary increases that were passed this year are very significant. While the original House budget did even more, there was the Senate wanted to take a more cautionary approach to it. And I think that what I think will happen, though, is even though we do have these very good raises that passed in, I think 7%, I would expect that when we come back next year that you may see some increases as well. But we also did a 4% COLA bonus, cost of living bonus, for our state retirees. You mentioned the Highway Patrol. I forget what that percentage is. But
it was like 16 total with step and everything. It was about 16%.
I think that's right. I mean, that's huge, because we were seeing troopers that basically being poached by other states and by some of the larger police departments in the state. And so, the men and women who service highway patrol state troopers, they want to stay there, but at the same time, they would tell you, look, they're proud to be a member of the Highway Patrol. They want to stay, but when they can go work for another agency and earn $10,000 a year more, they kind of have to look and say that they're doing right by themselves and by their families. And so I think you're going to see that fix that. We also gave significant raises for our assistant DAs that prosecute crimes. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, we try to be smart about it. And then we gave what's called strategic money that can be used for hard to recruit or hard to retain positions. One example is nursing instructors. We know that healthcare continues to be a growing industry. The needs on healthcare with an aging population, we need more and more folks to be working in healthcare and to be nurses. And so what was getting tougher was paying for the nursing instructors to teach the next generation of nurses. And so we had to give money to allow for significant increases there. That's just one example.
And, you know, one thing, too, that is kind of always forgotten about, but we're critically short on that is school bus drivers, and we went to 9% on them. And we've got to take a look at all the requirements they make people do to be a bus driver. I know we want to protect our children, but you can drive a tractor trailer with the same amount of training they do, and then you got to compete against that, and it's just crazy. So we got to take a look. But hey, 9%, that's a pretty good jump. That's a pretty good jump.
That's a really good jump. And, you know, whenever we hear from folks that talk about paying more, one thing that I tell folks, and you may do the same, is like, at the end of the day, it's not coming out of my pocket. It's the taxpayers' dollars. And so you know, we have a double duty. We have a duty to take care of our state employees and teachers, but we also have a duty to make sure that we're doing right by the taxpayers, that we're responsible in how we use the money. So I think this year is sort of a tale of two stories. One is, of course, tax cuts, responsible use of money, making sure that we're, as you said, living within our means, that we're paying off debt. I mean, it's a well-run state fiscally. And then we balance that with putting substantial resources and assets into capital projects, putting money into the pay raises, investing in more schools, better roads, putting money in for water and sewer and broadband. I mean, it's just, it really was a balance, and I think it really is firing on all cylinders to get all of those things done in one budget.
Well, and I think a lot of people got to understand, the teachers, the state employees. All right, so we're giving you a raise. Don't forget the tax cut we're giving, which is going to add to your salary because we're going to quit taking as much from you. So if you look at it that way, we don't really talk about cumulative, but if you look at it that way, with the tax cuts we gave you and the raises, you're above 7.5. You're more like 10. So, got to understand how the whole game works. It's what you take home at the end of the day. That's what counts. And now you touched on the water and sewer. And, since I've been there, and it's not been that long, since 19, we have spent an unbelievable amount of money on North Carolina's infrastructure. And most of it you can't see. It's all underneath you, the water, the sewer.
Yeah, right. So, and I would say, I think this year we spent over $1 billion.
Yeah.
And we've probably spent in the last 4 years, Jeff, we've probably spent, I know we've spent over $3 billion on water and sewer infrastructure.
Yeah, really, if you look at it, they're saying we count the federal money that was out there too, we're $2 billion this year, if counting all the federal funds that were released plus that. So, that's the thing people don't understand. We got money for City of Statesville, the budget before and this time now. Every time we help with the water sewer project, that's 1 less cent or 2 cent or 3 cent on your tax that you don't have to pay for your local taxes. So these tax breaks, they're helping. The people don't see it or don't realize what allowing these water projects to be funded with money coming from the state instead of local, how much that takes away from your local tax bill. It's amazing.
Jeff, can you hear me?
No, I got you back there. Lost you for a second. Hey. He may have some cellular difficulty. We're still working on the cellular. Here, I think we got him back. Hey, I think we got you back. Hey, Tim. Is he up? Thought we had him. Hang on a second. We're going to see if we can bring him back on. A lot of big things we did. School capital investment. It totaled $1 billion that we're going to put into doing on school capital. So transportation investment, $2.5 billion. William asked about that. So we got stuff out there, folks. We really do. So we're going to take a break. Hopefully we can get Tim back on here in the next second or two, and we'll have him back for the last part of the show. All right, hold tight.
Taking Care of Iredell with NC Representative Jeff McNeely will return after this short break on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. This Friday, the Steel Wheels are performing at Kane Center for the Arts in Cornelius. Come listen to the storytelling abilities of the Steel Wheels through Americana and folk music. Doors open at 7 and the show starts at 8. The Steel Wheels, this Friday, canearts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. Start your engines, racing fans. The Bank of America Roval 400 is back to Charlotte. Sunday, October 8th, starting at 2 p.m. The Bank of America Roval 400 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Get your tickets before it's too late.
See if I can get. Hey, Tim, are you there?
Yes, sir.
All right, hold tight. We're in a commercial break. It worked out pretty good right at a commercial break, so we'll bring you right back in. So just hold tight. Give me about another minute and a half. All right.
Got it.
Thank you. Whew.
The Pumpkin Patch at Kerrigan Farms. Book your experience now at kerriganfarms.com. The All-American Dog Show is this Sunday in Cornelius, 2 until 5 p.m. Bring your furry friends with you. Come find out who has the fluffiest coat and see the cutest puppy in all of Cornelius. And be sure to come by the WSIC tent at the All-American Dog Show happening at Robbins Park in Cornelius this Sunday. For more info, visit cornelius.org. Have an event you would like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
The Renaissance Festival is back. Saturdays and Sundays, September 30th through November 19th. A non-stop outdoor family adventure. Huzzah! Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com while supplies last.
And now look at your weather report from the WSIC Weather Center. Partly sunny skies out there right now. Your afternoon high will be reaching 81 degrees. As you head into the evening hours, mostly cloudy skies with that overnight low dropping to 62 before we get into some rain chances for Tuesday. This is your weather report from the WSIC Weather Center.
For 41 years, your Auto Plus Auto Parts store is Johnson's Parts and Supply. Johnson's Parts provides quality auto parts, helping you to get your work done quickly. Your Auto Plus Auto Parts store is located at 1112 Shelton Avenue in Statesville. Open Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and on Saturdays from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Closed on Sunday. Johnson's Parts, your Auto Plus Auto Parts store, located at 1112 Shelton Avenue in Statesville.
Speak with NC Representative Jeff McNeely at 844 Studio 4. Taking Care of Iredell on WSIC.
All right, folks, we're getting back into the. We're trying to get Tim back on the line here. He may have a little bit of cellular issues. He's coming in and out. So anyway, but we can talk a little bit about the budget ourselves. A lot of different things going on in it. Like I said, workforce development. Spent a lot of money there, about $400 million on that, because we got a lot of projects that have come to North Carolina, so we need to have a trained workforce. So that's all important. You know, some of the things that I really worked on the agricultural natural resources, that's my committee. Got $25 million in there for farmland preservation. We're losing farmland like it's going out of style right now. Between housers and solar farms, it's going quickly. I also got $12 million into the food banks across the state. Now, we gave a lot of money the last time. A lot of that was used for infrastructure. So, but this here, like I said, this is going to be more along the lines of actual food for them. And so, you know, we had a lot of run short, and some of that had to actually do. We had the money, but the federal part fell through, because a lot of stuff what we do is through the USDA, where we actually buy it from them at a discounted rate. Well, they ran out of protein. It got to the point, I know at one time, about the only protein product they had over at the Winston Food Bank, which comes back to Iredell, is hot dogs. And you know, I called up everybody I knew when we raised Cain because I knew we'd put a lot of money in the last budget. I think we may have him. So let's see if we can pull him up and see what we got here. Tim, are you there? Hey,
We're
Tim.
having technical problems, apparently.
There we
Yes,
go. All
I'm
right.
here.
We're back. We're back then. All right. Just talking a little bit about what we're doing on the ag side. You know, and in there we spent a lot of money on disaster resilience. You know, we got about $38 million we did on flood resistance and working through soil and water. So did a lot of different things in the budget, cashed all these different things. But, you know, one of the things we did also is we did a lot of stuff for the veterans. And it's not easy for us here at the state level. You know, most of that's federal, but we did do a lot. And one of the things that actually got back, we were able to get money back here for transitional housing down in Mooresville. I got $6 million through that. I think it's going to end up running, maybe Purple Heart Homes is going to head the operation, but we got that done. So just big things going on for our veterans. All that we can do in the state, we're doing.
Well, that's true. And don't forget, you know, that last year we passed legislation to make military retirement tax exempt in North Carolina. That has been absolutely huge.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you take all of these other resources that have been put in to help veterans, you know, whether it's whether it's in housing, whether it's education, whether it's health care, whether it's access, you know, there's a population that needs help with access to behavioral health. All of these things, state has really stepped up in a significant way because we know we hear veterans, for example, complain a lot about the VA. And we said, you know, we want the state to be able to offer help and not just be relying on the federal system, particularly when the federal system, Eddie would say, is not doing all it should be doing for our veterans.
Yeah, and you know, if we're going to give you we're going to keep a lot of the veterans here. Once they retire from the military, they're going to stay here because of what we've done for their retirement and not taxing them. So I know we put money, about $13 million aside for veteran children scholarships to help that. So doing everything we can with our UNC system and trying to keep the people that service us or are in the services here in North Carolina and their families that they raise here. So just trying to make this, I'd say we're the most veteran-friendly state in the union, in my opinion.
Yep, 100%. I say it. If there's anybody doing it better than North Carolina, I don't know who they are. Because you look at where we are in terms of the military bases we have, folks moving here, folks moving to stay here because of quality of life, but particularly those veterans who are saying, we're just recognizing that North Carolina is really stepping up to be absolutely the most veteran and military-friendly state in the country.
Well, all right, let's take a step away from the budget. You know, there were some other bills that we got done that were really important, too, right before midnight. And one of them was our regulatory reform bill that we run every session. And so we got that through, and that provided a lot of relief on a lot of different regulations that really don't turn out like everybody thought they would. They have unintended consequences.
Well, 100%. You know, the budget really overshadowed everything, but really also important, as you pointed out, was the regulatory reform bill. And what that is, that's where every year we look and see, okay, what is it that government is doing right? But more importantly, what is it government is doing wrong? Where are we putting unnecessary mandates on people or businesses, you name it? And so we spend a lot of time looking at that. We have several committees that look at it. And every year we're able to find more and more things that we can change and reform to basically return power to individuals and take power out of the hands of government to reduce the cost of doing business in the state. Do you know that years ago, and this is before our majority was in place, one of the biggest complaints, Jeff, that we would hear from someone wanting to open a business is that there were just continual barriers, one after the other, when someone would try to open a business. There were multiple agencies that all wanted to simply say no. It made no sense. And so the changes that have been made over this last, 12, 14 years have really moved North Carolina in a different direction. to where we're now, one of the, as CNBC, Wall Street Journal, all these publications rank up number one state in the country for business. And it's not just tax, not just money into education. It's not all that. It's also what artificial barriers exist to business. And we have cleared up a lot of that, but every year we find a little bit more and a little bit more. And so that legislation was passed overwhelmingly. Not sure if the governor is going to sign it or veto it.
Probably veto.
And if he does, we have the most override.
That's right. Well, one bill that I thought was really unique, and I thought, to me, it was very bipartisan, but obviously the other side doesn't like it, was the elections bill where the State Board of Elections would now become was it a 4-person board or a 6-person board? I can't remember that part.
I believe I believe the county board would be a 4-person board.
Yeah, and the state board also. Yeah, because it would be House. It would be the Speaker, the pro tem.
I think the state board will be. I think the state board will be an 8-person.
But an even number put out there by both Democrat and Republican. So no one party actually has a majority on the board. They'll have to learn to work together if they're going to change something. So nobody can actually do something. This way it's all out and open. I think this is a wonderful idea.
It's extremely important because, we have folks who are concerned about the integrity of our election. And at the end of the day, when it comes to the election administration, you don't need one party in charge of it. It needs to be truly bipartisan, where you have an equal number of Republicans and Democrats, and where you force conversation to happen and where folks have to work together. That's the way it should be. You shouldn't have decisions about early voting and precincts and administrative things being made by one party over the other, where one party could try to get a partisan advantage over the other. The thing that we as Republicans have been saying for years is give us a level playing field, require photo ID for voting. That should be common sense. Count the ballots on election day, and have open, fair, and free elections. That is what we have been saying from day one, and those on the far left just can't seem to. It's like they have to have the system rigged to be happy. And I hate saying that, but it just feels that way because the biggest complaint they had was that it was going to be an equally bipartisan board because they wanted control. That shows right there. To me, that shows they're not interested in being fair. They're interested in them having every advantage they can to win.
Well, and right now, if you look at the polls, Mark Robinson, Republican, is in the lead over Josh Stein, the Democrat. So we actually, we kind of gave up something, in my opinion. There's a good chance that we would have control of the board and then we could shift and do, but that's not what we want. And that's what even makes it more suspicious to me is we're willing to take the gamble, whatever you want to call it. Not them. No. So, what's the deal? If you don't want something that's equal and fair, then I got to think you're up to something.
Right. Exactly. We're taking a position. We're taking a political position that arguably would be against our at least short-term or maybe long-term partisan advantage. But we're doing it because we think and we know that is the right position to take. That it's the right thing to do, and I'm very proud of that vote.
Well, I am too, and I'm sure he's going to veto it, but that's okay. That's okay. We're definitely override that, and that's going to be something that I think is going to be unique for generations to come. Is we will now have to play together, and so that's important. That's real important. So anyway, well, Tim, we're about.
And by the way, Jeff, it's important to mention we didn't say this during the opening segment about the budget. Our budget passed with 5 or 6 Democrats.
Yep.
Joint Republicans to vote for.
Yep. So we did get a few. Hey, I got to go. I appreciate you calling in. Thank you so much, Tim. All right.
Good to be with you.
See you, man. Bye. Dear Heavenly Father, dear Lord, we just thank you. Thank you for many blessings. Pray for wisdom. Pray for guidance always. In Jesus Christ's name, amen. All right, folks. Till then, we'll see you next week. Take care.
You've been listening to North Carolina Representative Jeff McNeely. Join Jeff again next Monday morning at 11:05 for Taking Care of Iredell on News Talk WSIC.
The new 105.9.